mic, it's okay. Off your mic,
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He do they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo.
This is Lagos State. This is Idumota. Sherry Idumota bye. Sherry Idumota reo. Sherry Idumota bye. Gbogbo Idumota ti wà close o. Kò sí wàhálà. Gbogbo Idumota ló sì ti wọ́n sì ti yí o. Kò sí nǹkan kan tó lọ Idumota gómìnà Sanwó-Olú. Look at Idumota. Look at the road. Look at the Nnamdi Look at it. Ereko re o. Ereko láti rìn kọjá yìí. Ṣé bá ṣe rìn nínú ìjayà. Ṣé rí gbogbo shop títì. Kò sẹ́ni kankan tó wà ní títì mọ́. Everybody is close. Ṣé rí lọ́sàn-án kan ní Lagos Island. Ṣé rí gbogbo tó gbogbo títì. Ẹ wo ìbọn ti kọjá, gbogbo ẹ̀ ti kọjá. Chale. I don't kill this guy.
The guy has died like that. His name is Sisi.
Ó lè rò kó rọ ní sílá fún nọ́mbà gidi. Kí ló dé ní gidi sí lọ? Ẹ á gbé mi, ó lè gbé mi kí n máa lọ́lé.
Good evening to you. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you from wherever you're watching from. And this is Maiyegun Live. Please share the broadcast. Invite your friends. Share the video. Tell them Maiyegun today. Let me share a video with you before we all kind of settle down, okay? As you are joining the broadcast, if you're watching me on YouTube, if this is your first time, second time, or third time, check if you have ever subscribed. In fact, check if you have your notification set on as well, okay? But I'm going to play this video, and I'm still going to use it again in this broadcast. But while we wait for others to join, watch this and give me your opinion as we go on.
Materials, so you can put for wọ́n ti pín wọ́n ní wọ́n fún yín ní àyè láti lọ bá wọ́n ṣàmà yín ẹ tí ò bá ti rí káàdì tí ẹ gbà kó lọ gbà á ṣùgbọ́n níbi tí a wà yìí mo sọ fún yín gbogbo ẹnu mo fi sọ ohun tí àwọn leader wa sọ lókè ni pé Sanwó-Olú ni and I want to assure you this place we are not going to allow anybody to vote for Ambode here. We are going to send you out of this place. We are for Sanwó-Olú, and that's what our leader Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu said. Sanwó-Olú leader. The party, that is the APC. Yes. We have hierarchy and we have leadership. Yes. We have leaders. Yes. And we have been directed by our leaders to go and vote for Sanwó-Olú. Yes. And that's what we are going to do. Yes. This local government, we are not going to allow anybody to vote for Ambode. Yes. Ambode is gone. Ambode is gone. Ambode is gone. And is gone finally. We will allow you to kill. Vote for Sanwó-Olú by the party hierarchy. We have been directed. Party tiwa gbọ́dada ẹgbẹ́ tiwa ani hierarchy ani àwọn tó ní àṣẹ ani àwọn tó dẹ́gbẹ́ ilẹ̀ ẹni tí ò bá fẹ́ ibi tí ẹgbẹ́ ń lọ tí ò bá ní lọ bẹ̀ kó lọ dẹ́gbẹ́ mi ilẹ̀. He can go and create or register Ambode People's Party. Yes. But our own is APC. Yes. All Progressive Party Congress. All Progressive Congress is our party. Yes. And the leadership of the party has spoken. Yes. And we cannot change it. Yes. And that we are going to follow to the later. Yes. This place is not meant for Ambode people. Yes. No one should come here to vote for Ambode. Everybody go back and work in the way. I'm a vote for Kanu. And yes, we like Lórí YouTube.
Thank you. Tell them. Our Lagos Abobakus, our Oshogbo Alumajiris, the humbled slaves, the obedient fools, the sophisticated morons, their uncles, their aunties abroad. I'm talking about the Abroadian Buhari idiots, the Momomadus, the Bele lecturers, the Momo lecturers. Tell them, say, Maiyegun today.
And yes, we like Lórí YouTube. And yes, we like Baba Bewure. And yes, we like
Tell them. Tag them.
And yes, we like
Thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to start this broadcast, which I captioned as "Don't die in their war." PDP, APC, and every other name they might give to themselves. 2023 is their war. But as bunch of cowards that they are, they will rather use you to fight that war. For those who know Maiyegun very well, I am talking about those that we have always, our path have always been crossing when it comes to a moment like this, the moment of truth. I've always been very blunt. It is just surprising that when I talk about the APC, the people destroying people, PDP, they will think, oh yeah, Maiyegun, you were right. And APC, the humbled slaves, the obedient fools, the sophisticated morons, the baba sokwe's, like the guy you saw in that video, the all-risers, they become kind of, they take it personal. PDP is paying Maiyegun. But this is the moment that for those who have known Maiyegun for a very long time, they will say, hey, we're about to start. We don't like ourselves. They don't like me. I don't like them. Because they worship their thieves differently and they guide them jealously. But you see, before all of you, the Lagos Abobakus, the Oshogbo Alimajiris, the humbled slaves of Southwest, the Southwest BMC, before you begin to work on overdrive, ask your uncles who did the job of 2015, who did the job of 2019. The Nigeria they promised then is which is completely gone now. The money they gave you then, many of you have expended the money now. I can understand your frustration because in all your decisions politically in Nigeria, none of them affects me directly. When they destroyed your economy, where I live, as Nigeria becomes poorer, I tend to become richer. It simply means with the value of the money I have, no matter how much you work in that country, you will still kind of be below average as they have worked it out. So your political decisions doesn't affect me directly, but it affects me indirectly, like it affects so many people all over the world who have to shoulder the responsibility, social responsibility of your failed government to keep Nigeria together still. I happen to belong to the categories of those who actually remit money back into that your economy. When you talk about the billions of dollars remittances back into Nigeria, I fall into that category yearly, which means I contribute greatly to Nigeria than any of your political criminal leaders. Not to talk about the Oshins, not to talk about the freeloaders, not to talk about these thieves that you love to worship. So by all standard, yeah, I am better off without Nigeria. But since many of us left Nigeria, and we have our family members there and all that, it simply makes it difficult for Nigeria to leave us, which means when we talk about the economic destruction, joblessness, and the rest of that, we have people who are affected, whose bills are being picked up by many of us who have our own bills to pay too. The failure of your government that makes you poorer doesn't just affect you overall. It affects us too, indirectly. Or directly? Of course not. I am not. Whether you vote for Tifnumbu, whether you vote for anyone you love to drag into it, whether you prefer your government to continue to kill you whenever you stand up for your rights, that's your own cup of tea. In all, if it's just going to be you, but it seems not just going to be you, and that is why we have to speak up all the time. So this is the moment. Your choice doesn't take a penny out of my any where I live. But I've been watching from far, and I've seen many of you who bragged, wait for Buhari to come in. Buhari will show, APC will turn Nigeria to this or that. The record is there. You are poorer than you were in 2015. More of you, more people have been killed by terrorists in the last 6 years than all the years put together before APC came to power. Your naira has been devalued beyond recognition. I mean, think about this. Your dollar was a dollar to naira. I mean, sorry, a naira to dollar was 198 naira in 2015. Now you have it for, I mean, hovering around there, 550 naira to a dollar, a completely crashed and, you know, destroyed currency, which is supposed to be your value, in 6 years. Now you have a lot of terrorists to deal with. Before now, you were dealing with a region of the country where the terrorism was volatile. The result today is that it has escalated. All the promises, all the God will shame you. You will see, you will just cry. By the time the Buhari become president, your uncles told me that, because I've always been like this. Choose your poison. And some of you continue to choose the one that continue to kill you slowly. And you are proud of that. So before you begin to work on overdrive, this is me back, Maiyegun, trying to tell you again, choose your poison very well. Don't die in their war. There is no democracy in Nigeria to start with. Democracy is all about the people, you know. It is like this. Democracy, which is, when you say democracy, you say the people is the base of it, which means whatever the people want should be the determining factor of what those in authority do. Once the people who owns the authority, you know, decide to wield it, if you decide to, I mean, if you misuse it whenever they give you the opportunity, right? That should be the democracy. They should have the power to wield that, right? You don't have that power. I decided to share that video with you because some of you, one of the things they project and probably promote, which they can't defend, is that Nnamdi is a Democrat. I said, don't die in their war. And me, Maiyegun, that you are going to come here and say, what did Nnamdi collect for your hand? No, you didn't collect anything from me. He stole a lot from you, including most of your senses. He's a Democrat. These guys are not Democrat. These guys are worst set of, opportunists that you can say. Democracy, where Tinubu and gang are. The structure of the political structure in Nigeria is far, far beyond setting up political party and then getting people to believe in your ideas and the rest of that. The likes of Nnamdi knows very well that violence, I'm talking about bloody, deadly violence, is part of what keep people in check. And who do you give that job to? You give the job to those who are more violent among the citizens, right? And that's how you control the flock. And if you look at Lagos, that's exactly what you have. You see, Lagos State, where you have a government within government. Let's start with that. And this is not just Lagos State. If you look around you, yeah, when you look at all the political settings you have there, you have them having what they call the non-state actors that are protecting the power of the criminals who pretend to be conducting elections or winning elections. How do they do that? It starts from these selection stages. Selection stages where people's choice, where people can say, oh, I am going to participate in the electoral process, in the political process, starting from choosing a credible candidate, not what the Baba said, what our leader said. Now, your leaders have been saying Baba Sokwe, Baba Sokwe, Baba Sokwe for 22 years. And what you have in Lagos is that you have the street ushers, the Agbero, coordinated and under the command and control of the Ashiwaju Awon Gbewiri, Ashiwaju Awon Agbero's political structure. So when they talk about having influence, okay, the influence starts from intimidation, violence, because that's what makes it real. Even if you decide that, oh, we are going to be against this kind of decision, why would they just force some people on us and the rest of that? No, we're going to be against that, right? They will unleash the violence right there within you, within that your community, to bring you to check. And that is why when there are Agberos, the touts in Lagos, whose funding is legitimized by regular extortion of the people in that same state. They exist, right? Meanwhile, they are not government. You get what I mean now? So you all know that. So they were funded by what? They are funded by extorting the people, which you all know. These guys became millionaires and possibly, I don't know, billionaires. But they are the power within power. They are the harmed wing of the political wing of these rogues in power. Tifnumbu starting with them. And they are all members of any political party in power. So look at it this way. You have a team who can unleash violence and they are protected. You all know. When the likes of MC Olueron and the rest of them says, well, let's put it this way. There was an election in Osun and they had to load hundreds of yellow buses from Lagos, loaded with dangerous weapons and then different kind of thugs and all that, under the protection of the Nigerian police, and they guided them straight to Osun to participate in that election. And this is not new. They travel everywhere and it is the same. I think it happened in Kogi as well. So they do this because they are the muzzle that the politician needs, right, to intimidate the populace enough to either just follow them or don't do anything at all. Don't stand against them. That is what they call democracy. These guys can come into, they can say, you have no authorization to campaign in any part of Lagos State. And yes, you will not campaign in any part of Lagos State without them either disrupting it, killing people there. You know what will happen, Abi? They are the authority within authority. But they are not for you. It is what they serve the greedy system, which means that that video I showed you earlier, I'm going to repeat it again. It is the context of that video. So the political structure is now controlled through violence, which is preserved, or let me say in reserve. That is when it became easier to now introduce money in large sum, which now makes them more kind of accepted. There is poverty that they deliberately created. I told you, I said, if contesting for political office is considered as I am running for office and not that, once you take over power, once you get power, you can see that the context of leading Nigeria or in any capacity in Nigeria is about power. The people who are seeking political offices in Nigeria, they don't see it as I'm running for office or I'm running for this office. They see it as seeking power because the influence the investment that goes with it and the influence that comes with it when you finally get it, yeah, seems to be worth it because you own it. You own it all. In the end, yeah, I ask, it is not a reality TV show. Leadership comes with responsibility. It's not about power. It's not about, yes, what are you going to do now? You will see, God will surprise you. God will shock you. God has been shocking you. It's just that some of you are probably kind of immune to shock now. The shock is that whatever thing you probably eventually get forced to agree to, there are policies which ended up creating a destroyed economy. Some assorted policies that led to, an incompetent fight against corruption, as they said. Corruption has grown pretty much bigger wings under them. There's the word for it. They call it, is it called inefficiency? No. Let me just call it incompetency of the people you continue to hope on to change your life, especially when it comes to this APC, to start with. Doing same thing again and again and expecting a different result. So I decided to say, well, look into the selection process. That is where your destiny is completely decided. You see, when you now decide, I want to go and vote, the credibility of those they gave to you have been decided by common thugs who have the influence, violence, and the protection of those who are promising you a safe place, a safe, prosperous society, which you know will never come. Now, take a look at this, where people who are part of a political process, a political party, that is a progressive political party. Let's use their template. APC, Egbekegbe. And their leader in Lagos is Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. Now, I want you to listen to this video again. Watch this video again. And the statement and the character that is talking. This was supposed to be APC, Egbekegbe's governorship primary, election or something like that. It's like primary election, okay? Where members of the party will decide to choose their candidates. There are people who probably would never want to follow what Tinubu said if these guys did not add the threats. Watch this video again. Talking about democratic elements. Talking about, you know what I mean? Then I'll come back to some of you who they are paying right now. Some of you who are going to be their vuvuzela and the rest of that. There's nothing new you are doing, okay? Of course, we know that they're going to give you money for that. And then turning around to ask me, shut up your mouth, how much did they pay you? That means you must be new to Maiyegun's Diary Political. I'll get to you. But look at this character. These people and the order that they are following. This is the one you have on camera. And this is how it is all over Nigeria. Then you can now relax and understand the democracy they practice in Nigeria. The influence of the godfathers. The same demented godfather, Tinubu. I'll get to
materials. So they come quick for ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọ́n ti pín. Wọ́n ní wọ́n fún yín ní àyè láti lọ bá wọ́n ṣàmà yín. Ẹ tí ò bá ti rí káàdì tí ẹ gbà kó lọ gbà á. Ṣùgbọ́n níbi tí a wà yìí, mo sọ fún yín gbogbo ẹnu mo fi ń sọ. Ohun tí àwọn leader wa sọ lókè ni pé Sanwó-Olú ni. And I want to assure you, this place we are not going to allow anybody to vote for Ambode here. We are going to send you out of this place. We are for Sanwó-Olú, and that's what our leader Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu said.
Is that democratic? That is where we got the word Baba Sokwe from. In Nigeria political setting, godfathers, who happen to be the men who have easy access to public fund. Godfathers don't have jobs. Godfathers don't have any means of income. They rely mostly on their access to public fund. And when it comes to Tinubu, he was the former governor of Lagos State. In fact, he became the governor of Lagos State when majority of the real Lagosians were not really interested in politics that much. And the next time they were interested in, that was the moment Funshaw Williams, a real Lagosian, or Molu Abieko was what he was, they call him. Funshaw Williams showed interest. And then, he was killed. He was murdered in his own bedroom, right there in his house. His death still remains a kind of a mystery. Immediately after Tinubu left power, he became the godfather, having the opportunity of installing his own successor, Fashola, who was able to give him a cover. In fact, was able to actually cover up all of the, the stealing, the looting, the conversion of Lagos State properties to himself or his proxies and all of them. So this boosted his base, and he has so much money. So as being the entire state who they should vote for. And you see these guys, these are the honorable men. How is this a democracy? Again, I ask you.
Materials. So they come quick for ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ yín wọ́n ti pín. Wọ́n ní wọ́n fún yín ní àyè láti lọ bá wọ́n ṣàmà yín. Ẹ tí ò bá ti rí káàdì tí ẹ gbà kó lọ gbà á. Ṣùgbọ́n níbi tí a wà yìí, mo sọ fún yín gbogbo ẹnu mo fi ń sọ. Ohun tí àwọn leader wa sọ lókè ni pé Sanwó-Olú ni. And I want to assure you, this place we are not going to allow anybody to vote for Ambode here. We are going to send you out of this place. for Sanwo-Olu. And that's what our leader, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu said. Sanwo-Olu leader. The party, that is the APC, yes. We have hierarchy and we have leadership. Yes. We have leaders, yes. And we have been directed by our leaders to go and vote for Sanwo-Olu. Yes. And that's what we are going to do. Yes. This wards, this local government, we are not going to allow anybody to vote for Ambode. Yes. Ambode is gone. Ambode is gone. Ambode is gone. And is gone finally. We will allow you to kill. Vote for Sanwo-Olu by the party hierarchy. We have been directed. Party tiwa bodada ẹgbẹ́ tiwa ani hierarchy ani àwọn tó ní àṣẹ ani àwọn tó dẹ́gbẹ́ ilẹ̀ ẹni tí ò bá fẹ́ ibi tí ẹgbẹ́ ń lọ tí ò bá lè lọ bẹ̀ kó lọ dẹ́gbẹ́ mi ilẹ̀. He can go and create or register Ambode People's Party. Yes. But our own is APC. Yes. All Progressive Congress. All Progressive Congress is our party. Yes. And the leadership of the party has spoken. And we cannot change it. Yes. And that we are going to follow to the later. Yes. This place is not meant for Ambode people. Yes. No one should come here to vote for Ambode. Everybody go back and work in the way. I'm a vote for Kanu.
So if the same leader tomorrow tell them, so another person, the same people were shouting, Ambo, something, Ambo, when Ambode was coming in 2015. So they said Ambode didn't let them continue to collect money in Lagos, but that's their own problem anyway. But I just wanted to show you, it is a do or die for them. Do you understand that? A do or die. And that is why I am saying it to you now. You know, before now, change made many of you to become enemies to some of those who could have been your helpers. Honestly, I have to say. Because it didn't work out, did it? Or the expectation from 2015. Did it work out for some of you? It didn't work out. Yeah, it didn't work out. But because you were so sure that you were making the best, go and die. If Buhari become president, go and kill yourself. My friend, go and transformer. All of us now. You're about to start again. See? Buhari became president. I didn't die. Buhari became president. I didn't lose money. Buhari became president. I didn't digress. I continued to progress. You know, I'm still doing fine. How far? I'm also doing fine. Maiyegun, forget it. Now, people when no feel work, no do fine. Yeah, I didn't know. I bet those 40% of you that have become jobless under this government, they were not working hard like you. You know. Many of you in 6 years now, we have seen the increase in young people chasing money ritual. Aye. So I was reading the news the other day. It's increasing. The frustration, the desperation, and the rest of that. Shut up your mouth. Go and knock transformer. You said the same thing to me in 2019. Well, I don't even know where the transformers are in the UK. You won't even see the transformers. And if I was in Nigeria, there is no power. So even if I get a transformer, I'll still be here too. People they go on top. People they do sunbathing on top transformer in Nigeria because their transformer never worked for the past 6 years since Buhari came in. No joke. But I'm here. But people are dying. Poverty increasing. Corruption increasing. That is why before you begin to work on overdrive, Baba, everything you are going to say about Tifnumbu, you said the same thing about Buhari. Now, you are all going to come back here and talk to us like, say, no be una be APC. That's another thing. So before you get to that, she na democracy be that. The same set of people, the one that is talking there, that if anybody, all of us here, nobody must vote for anybody. If they can do that to their own party members, what do you think they will do to anyone if they aṣíwájú àwọn olè, aṣíwájú àwọn gbéwìrì, aṣíwájú àwọn agbèrò, aṣíwájú àwọn apààyàn? If it becomes the APC, Ẹgbẹ́kẹ́gbẹ́, Al-Qaeda People's Congress, Apanijaye People's Congress, Al-Qaeda pààyàn People's, so many things. All promises cancelled and all that. If he becomes their flag bearer, oh boy, extend your exile. Buhari, you will find out that Buhari is even better. I mean, like you will say it's still better. Some of us are saying that some of you who made the mistake probably didn't know that you made the mistake early enough. Some of you have regretted that. You've come out that you've regretted that. Before you start hating on anybody, before you think anybody is against you or what have you, right? Just know that we always see the sign early enough, what a failure would look like. Before you start bragging and holding everybody, see this. So they were talking to Tifnumbu. Well, Tifnumbu was talking to his foot soldiers. Later he said he forgot he made a mistake, right? A sign of dementia. People don't know what is wrong with Tifnumbu. Same way people don't know what is wrong with Buhari, right? But it is so obvious. If you are smart enough, take for example, let me use this, okay? Let's start with this. People who are closer to Tifnumbu, they took this picture of him, very close to him in his room, okay? And this was like about a year ago. It's not a new picture, okay? They took this picture of him up close. That is Tifnumbu up close. No makeup, no dressing, no nothing, like editing camera and the rest of that, okay? This is him up close. He's claiming to be 69 years old, okay? There's controversy around his age, all right? There's controversy around his, his life. A lot of controversy, I have to say. Some of them will be coming to light. But this particular one that concerns his own health, something that educated people that, you see, so many people that you see on social media, right, that are going to be trying to fight you the same way they were dragging you during the APC, Ẹgbẹ́kẹ́gbẹ́ with Buhari, yeah? The same thing they are going to do is this. They always have this. The signs are there. But because of what many of them are going to make, right? The moment Tifnumbu said he's going to be president, many of them have been cashing out. I'm talking about real cashing out. Real money pumping out there. And it's the same thing with everyone on social media, okay? When you see them asking some, what have you, many of them belong to the WhatsApp group recruited to sell the same baranda of Buhari as Tifnumbu. But look at this. He was talking to his people because they are paid to be there. They are paid to be stupid. They are paid deliberately. Some of them paid. I mean, they choose deliberately to be stupid. Now, this is an example.
Take one family member, two family members, knock on all doors, and make sure that that new registration, because they may not announce to you on time, the PPC you have has expired. Yes. Yes. You need to spread it around in various local government wards and levels. No matter how difficult it is. To me, I look at it closely, and you look at other elections being held, you see that it's diminishing because those cards expired and they didn't.
70 years old man, but
so I'm not your enemy. The signs are there. If you even want to choose anything, if not because of what some of you are going to get, Asiwaju will share rice. Shiwaju Buje Budanu, wherever we see him last song, money don't land. Baba, Shiwaju Agbalagboye and the rest of that. Are you actually reviewing what you want to buy? Maiyegun, just leave him alone where, go and support your candidate. I don't have any candidates. How can I have a candidate in a shambled, rigged elections that some of you can't even say this is how the election is going to be conducted? Some of you can't. You're just waiting on them to slug it out and tell you. Once they are done doing their selection and the rest of that, they bring out the choices before you and say, yeah, PDP, this one. Oh, yeah, APC, this one. And I go come the fight to myself. I'm saying it to you right now. Shade na this kind of thing you want to fight your brother for. You did it during the Bokwari time. Are you also going to be up in arms with your own brother and sisters because of Tifnumbu? Now, question no be fight to permanent voters card. What is then permanent if it expires? Dementia.
Take one family member, two family members, knock on all doors, and make sure that that new registration, because they may not announce to you on time, the PPC you have has expired. Yes. Yes. You need to spread it around in various local government wards and levels, no matter how difficult it is. To me, I look at it closely, and you look at other elections being held. Managing Director.
Kọ́lọ́run fún Tinubu lálàáfíà ṣáàbí tó bá jẹ́ pọ́lọ́run ló máa fún lálàáfíà o. Mo mọ̀ pé that's not going to be what some of you will wish, right? But it doesn't matter what we wish. Let's talk to these our brothers and sisters who are already ready. Now, Tinubu for 2023. Baba, now the product be that too. It was recently at Babangida's house. Babangida's record is that he annulled the freest, the fairest election in Nigeria history, the 1993 presidential election. In fact, it was because Babangida annulled the 1993 elections that brought the likes of Tifnumbu back to prominence. And because on record is drug deals or drug dealings in the 80s in Chicago, which is on record, by the way. So Tifnumbu was able to have enough money. Money laundering, drug dealings, and the rest of that was able to use part of that money to fund the Nadeco movement. I'm talking about elements who were then, pushing Abacha to go away and the rest. So Tifnumbu became prominent in the struggle for democracy. You know what I mean? Because Babangida annulled the freest and the fairest election won by Chief MKO Abiola. But in his desperation, one Nigeria desperation, Tifnumbu decided to visit Babangida, a Democrat, a demented Democrat, visiting another dictator. What would they not do for power? Briefly. So, that is the Democrats and the dictator together because he wants to be president of Nigeria. So, he needs the blessing of the Nigeria gatekeepers, the northern elites, which includes the northern retired generals, Abdul Salami Abubakar, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, including the blood of those that were, that were killed during the struggle for democracy. Finally, his long-held life dream, his long life dream of becoming president of Nigeria is about to play out, and they won't mind kissing the ass of anyone. He even gave them 50 million naira for the victims of a banditry in Niger State. It's been a Father Christmas as we speak. And politically, we don't know how that's going to work out for him because the same Babangida endorsed, what do you call it? Endorsed Oshibajo. Just like many people also are tripping for Oshibajo. Tifnumbu's protege, Oshibajo, fake Pastor Ruga from Kanu.
Kanu Tubingiwa. I'm here in Kanu. Kanu Kodame Kazu Africa. As incredibly humorous people of Kanu will say, Garini Mba Kanu Ba Gajinala.
Sai ku fito maza da mata mu kwanta al'ummar mu ma'ana mu zaɓi cancanta yemi osi banjo. Ku fito maza da mata mu kwanta al'ummar mu ma'ana mu zaɓi cancanta yemi osi banjo. Sai ku fito maza da mata mu kwanta al'ummar mu ma'ana mu zaɓi cancanta yemi osi banjo.
Tare da kai na fara Allah.
Osi banjo. Anyway, talking about how this political game is playing out. We have been told that if Tifnumbu can spend enough money, the endorsement of these kind of people from northern Nigeria will likely sell it for him. It's a gamble that is worth taking, since Bokwari don't want to tell them his candidate because he has none. There will be no election. You don't have to believe it, but watch out. The first person to endorse Tifnumbu in recent time is the Shetima, the former governor of Borno State. You remember Shetima, the guy that was in a phone call with Ibikunle Amosun when Bokwari was about to take over power in Nigeria. Not take office, it was power. It's about power. Didn't I say that? Power. He has endorsed Tifnumbu, and according to him, they hold Tifnumbu a lot. That's quite incredible. And somebody said, if all of una for APC, if all of una for Northern Nigeria, if una hold Tifnumbu a lot, how una want take Nigeria pay the debt? Like, why should you use Nigeria there to pay the debt? Like the other time when they say Nigeria hold Bokwari, and then they use you, all of you, paid Bokwari. So Shetima said they hold Tifnumbu, and therefore it will be better for him to become the president. That's not what Ojodu. You remember Baba Femi Ojodu? Or Ojudu. You know what I'm talking about? That is the guy appointed by Bokwari to be a media personnel to Oshibajo. And in their team, they've already formed their own presidential campaign team. And in their job, oh boy, now fire for fire. Ojodu came out recently and he said, tell me, is he Ojodu or Ojudu? Because I know Ojodu Baga. That's an area in Lagos. Is he Ojudu? Femi is a PA to Oshibajo, vice president. So many of you have read what Ojudu released recently. The reason why he's not going to support Tifnumbu, because Tifnumbu didn't really help his career. They only served him. You read that article? Now, so they start. Not be only that, too. As Tifnumbu's team are putting things together, they said they want to break Nigeria. They want to break the shackles. Breaking the shackle. That is the theme. The 2023 presidential theme for Tifnumbu, breaking the shackles of poverty, shackles of terrorism, shackles of poor education, shackles of underdevelopment, this and that. Hello. These are the guys who told us, 7 years ago that they had the same plan. Now, they have taken 7 years of your life. They're going to take 8, and a demented man is coming to break the shackles. Are you sure? This guy disagrees. The Oshibajo team. And it's about to go down. Oh, hey, that is why this platform is called Maiyegun's Diary Political, making something that you read about and you don't really care about, making them make sense to you, to make you to start thinking about it. So that when they come around with this flowery statement and all this show off, you will never get carried away. Like what happened in Kaduna when Bokwari, after all the mass killings in Kaduna, Bokwari decided today, or yesterday rather, when he was coming back from Gambia, for the inauguration of second term of their president in Gambia, Bokwari landed in Zaria. And guess what? It was fun before the whole thing changed. Zaria Bokwari, if you were watching, this is, where is it? Yeah, this. Just a short clip. The whole internet was like, what the hell? How could the people? They said, oh boy, no blame them. Oh, let's say they imported them from somewhere. Kaduna no be like that. Oh, so what do you mean? Look at them. Look at, these people are not suffering. This is why if Buhari is contesting again in 2023, they will vote for him. I was like, calm down, guys, calm down. It's a different thing. Later, maybe because they know that they are dealing with a murderous regime, they decided to stage this after Bokwari left town. It's on camera.
This is Lagos State.
That's not it. There's another one. Okay, enough. Right? That was their own reaction to say, Bamayi, we don't want you again, we don't want you, Bamayi. Tens of thousands of people have been killed in southern Kaduna, are still being killed. Thousands of villages and communities have been ransacked. Some of them have been renamed because the real indigenous people there have been forced to flee to God knows where. And some of those villages have been renamed. Emirs appointed by the government of Kaduna, led by the Kaduna Little Finger, El Rufaya of Kaduna. Wherever it is, I have told you that Nigeria is sitting on a keg of a gunpowder that can explode anytime. And when it does, it will burn not just those who are using the opportunity of this division and disjointed and poverty as well, right? Including those of you who are supporting them and defending them, only if you know the danger it is. Jumping up and down, fighting your brothers and sisters because of these criminals, you will never want to die in their war. We were in Lagos just about yesterday. Some of you read about the Idumota Wahala. Well, it's not a great picture. We caught this on camera, and I'll share that with you if you are watching. From Idumota in Lagos, when I was talking about the non-state actors empowered by the supposed state actors, because politically they are useful. They can't be disbanded, right? Then there is this news that from February, in Lagos, for example, the bosses are going to be paying a monthly tax to the state government in what is systemic style of facing out the agberos, collecting the tax and what have you, right? In their own way, they're like, if you're a boss in Lagos, you only pay 800 naira every month, okay, for your boss. Don't pay any money to anybody. They say, what's going to happen to the MC Oluye and the rest of them? How are they going to live large again if you block all the money? What will happen? They said that we're going to arrange for them to be to be collecting money once a day just at a spot, something that won't work. But everybody is somehow waiting for how is that going to be until this news filtered in from Idumota. I don't know what in cause wahala. The shark cause wahala. Sit at home. Oh boy, Lagos Idumota. Then sit at home.
ẹrú wà lára mi lóyún ọmọ tó wọ bláàkì tó wà ní ìbọn ló fi tó wọ bláàkì tó wà tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nínú ìbọn ló wà lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ wọ́n wo sẹ́ẹ̀tọ̀ ọmọṣẹ́ wọ́n wọ́n mọ̀ sí àwọn ọmọ ilé ìwà máa sọ. Ọmọ wèrè yẹn àbíkú àgbà làwọn ọmọ yìí àbíkú àgbà làwọn ọmọ yìí.
This is Lagos State. This is Idumota. Sherry Idumota báyìí. Sherry Idumota rèé o. Sherry Idumota báyìí. Gbogbo Idumota ti wà close o. Kò sí wàhálà. Gbogbo Idumota ló sì ti náà sì ti yí o. Kò sí nǹkan kan tó lọ Idumota gómìnà Sanwó-Olú. Look at Idumota. Look at the road. Look at the Nnamdi. Look at it. Ereko rèé o. Ereko láti rìn kọjá yìí. Ṣé bá ṣe rìn nínú ìjayà ṣe rí gbogbo ṣọ́ọ̀bù títì kò sẹ́ni kankan tó wà ní títì mọ́ everybody ti close ṣe rí lọ́sàn-án kan ní Lagos Island ṣe rí gbogbo títì ẹ wo ìbọn ti kọjá gbogbo ẹ̀ ti kọjá.
I think that's enough. It's really gory. If you see now that let me put it this way: those guys you saw there, right? They have political backings of the politicians that will tell you they are working to keep you safe. Democratic people during elections. So if you witness that, if some of you who have been to Idumota, many of us have been anywhere, except if you have never been to Lagos ever. So you know why Idumota is always so busy, clogged up and all of that, yeah? They forced all of them to sit at home. Throughout yesterday, everybody locked their shop, locked their home, locked everywhere. And the boys, they had a field day. Now, you remember when I used to say, or I will continue to say anyway, you know, I used to tell you then that even if you feel like what is going on in Nigeria is none of your business, which I can say is none of my business too, but it is. This is how it will be your business, right? In 1999, that was 23 years ago, 23 years ago, democracy was to come to Nigeria. And it was meant to be the government of ourselves, by ourselves, for ourselves. Something that was meant to stop the hemorrhaging, destruction or what have you of Nigeria at the time. It was like, oh, if you have a democracy, you'll be able to manage yourselves and treat your people right, and do that. There won't be all this anymore. There was no developmental plan from any of these guys. Lagos State is an example. Yoruba land is an example. You can use your own state or your region as well as an example, because there's no part of Nigeria that didn't witness what I'm about to tell you. No plan, no nothing. 22 years after that, millions of children that were given birth to between 1999 and 2000, called the new millennials. Those are the children you are seeing on the street there. They have no real education. They have no real training. The system didn't care about them. But now the system will rather use them to further the violence, because they are useful in a way to the criminals that some of you are going to be speaking grammar, defending. You're already doing it now. Go and read the comment. Read their comment. They're already doing it. But they don't have any real say. Their job is to lie to themselves that the likes of Tifnubu and gang, they have their love attached. Same thing with the APC. It's the same thing everywhere. All of them. Rogues. But Nigerians love their thieves and their criminals differently. That's the saddest part of it. But not really that sad. It's just, it is the reality. Those are the ones. If you witness that kind of a thing, if you see them, they say, own Yabo, our own Yabo boys are coming on the day of election. And you see policemen stepping aside for them. You go, wait. They are the decider of your elections. You know that. That is why they can shut down entire place for a whole day. The police and the rest, they will be begging them. You know what? While the fight was going on, they are political godfathers. They have names of all those boys. They have names. They know them all. They all have guns. They have weapons. They can do whatever they can. They go to, they will say, oh, they've arrested 50 of them. They have sent them to Panti in another 2 weeks. You will see the person they sent to Panti, somebody that killed the person right in front of everybody in that fire. You will see him back on the street 2 weeks later. They say, but they sentenced him. It was taken to, so what is Panti? They've taken him to maximum prison in Kirikiri. You know what I'm talking about now? Many of you grew up knowing that. The whole thing is that violence keep them in power. Take it away from them. Even if their violence is kind of out of this world. It's never out of this world. We are never outnumbered. It is just the job of some of you who think you actually understood these guys for whatever they are doing. Because there's no difference. Listen, they did this to Omoyele Sowore. What's the difference between this and what you just watched?
cash more.
They don't go in there.
See that one.
See? Government paid thugs in the Federal Capital Territory, the Nigeria's federal capital. Government paid thugs to attack citizens who came to a public place, a court. And when they caught one of them or two of them, policemen came to rescue the thugs. And then they shot tear gas at the protesting citizens. Like, why would you police come and rescue the thugs? Why? Because it is Nigeria. Yes, it is Nigeria. There are state-sanctioned terrorism. And only those the government back can get away with the crimes that many of you can only imagine. That is the state of Nigeria. I mean, if anybody comes at you right now, for example, right, people have told me that, you see you, Maiyegun, with this your loud mouth, you are sitting down there in Glasgow talking nonsense, Abi. Don't come to Nigeria. If you come here, we go. Normally, you just pick up the phone and say, hello, Nigerian police. Hey, I have found one local terrorist from God knows where. I don't know, maybe now, you know. And they will pick you up and they ask you, why did you have to threaten somebody because of their political stand? And that would be like serve as a deterrent to others. Like, oh, don't make such statements. But if that person will say, make a no come see me on the street of Lagos, yeah? And they start beating back. I say, leave on now, and we leave him. Say, what do you do now? Now that Maiyegun now, that Maiyegun boy, where they Scotland, now him be this now, the one where they abuse Steve Numbu. Oh, that boy, beat him better, kill him. Because that is a license. Somehow, they will say, these people love Tinubu. They will kill anybody for Tinubu. Don't say anything about our leader. Don't blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? Because you can't call the police. These guys knows this. They understand this. They can do it anytime. All they have to do is to make sure that the right people knows why they are dealing with people they considered as enemy. When Showore was campaigning in Lagos in 2019, there are many places that is either they took his car, that he can never come here, or they tell him that if he didn't pay them, he's never going to gain access to these also places. Same thing they won't do to their APC, because they are everywhere. They own it. The thugs, that thug that you see at that junction in Pangrove is APC member. If they say, hey, Oluwole Pangrove, Alagbara Pangrove, Alagbara Fadeyi, I don't know who are their Alagbaras now, because they have gotten to a stage whereby, you know, they are now killing themselves. So when you see them, they say, this was the reason why the killer be say, oh, Babo Denina, oh, but the guy betray Ashiwaju now, and Ashiwaju make the boy. He can't go to work for PDP. What you want me would do? We kill her now. That is their own type of democracy. How dare you say that about Ashiwaju? Look at this guy. That's the boy talking about. You know, that's their own kind of democracy. So they're not really different. The system encourages it. And it's a messed up system, isn't it? It's a messed up system. But they are not more than you. I have told you why they lasted this long. It is the fear factor and money. And the money became useful, influential because of poverty. And what do? You what did they do? They weaponized poverty. Okay? And when there is more hunger, they offer themselves as your saviors. Thank you, Shakabula. I've seen your super chat. Thank you. You see, I appreciate that, and I appreciate it more if you possibly become a member of Maiyegun's Diary Political, especially on YouTube, where you can be a silver member, a gold member, a diamond member, platinum member, prime member. All these are the way you can support your favorite Maiyegun, because look at them. They believe that their PDP, that gives them a recharge card to go on social media and continue to scream, "Let us rescue Nigeria. There is no structure for these good candidates. We would rather go with PDP because they are the only ones with structures and all of that." They believe somehow, that maybe Maiyegun is also probably positioning himself. They have been telling me that for years, by the way. Hang on. They said Maiyegun in 2015 from my flat in Glasgow. They said, "Look at him, jobless boy, blah, 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 blah. He's waiting for appointment, he's blah, blah, blah." That it didn't suffice. 2019, they made the same until 2020, when many of you now came through and said, "Maiyegun, we will support you." And you have always been there. So when they asked for who are those funding you, Maiyegun, you, my friend, dedicated ones, I have to say, I've been so very much supportive. So thank you. I just have to add that in a nutshell. So those who brought this upon you, there is a lot of things, right? That, for example, look at this. When we talk about religion, all these they are able to use them to manipulate you because of the vulnerability. The vulnerable decision they have put you is deliberate. So every time you try to fight your brothers or fight their war for them and the rest of that, what you are doing is that you are validating the position they have put you. And in my own opinion, this man, this one too, is also suffering from what Nigeria has done to some of you, or is trying to make his own living from your misery, just like your pastors, most of those fake guys.
In the whole of Akwa, the number of witches and wizards that we have presently, not everybody can talk about that, because this is a serious power. We have 2.3 million witches and wizards in Akwa. 2.3 million.
That's a huge number. Do you get it?
You get it? Okay. If you don't get it, forget about it.
Now, talking about a messed up system, I was telling you about their messed up policeman that works for these criminal gangs and gives them protection because they get the protection and the immunity from their political godfathers. And the reason why the politicians use these criminals, arm them, is because they are disposable. They can do without them. They are replaceable in so many ways. All right. So the governor of Rivers State, before this time, I have known this, even before I left Nigeria, that when they talk about bunkering, when they talk about oil, stealing oil, and the rest of that, right? You are going to meet the generals in Nigerian army running it. People know that. You will see the police commissioners. They run this show and they manage to steal millions of barrels of crude oil from Nigeria. Oh, well, not millions, sorry. That's exaggerated. Well, should I say millions in a year? Well, they get to load vessels with thousands of barrels every every day, or, stealing oil, a big thing. So, which means that half of what they declare as Nigeria's oil outputs are stolen by bunkerers, right? But Wike did a kind of, little surgery in that regard, and he decided to visit some of these camps. So lately in Rivers State, well, not lately, it's been a while, okay? There's something called Sooth. Is it Sooth or Soot? I don't even know, but it's this black thing, right, that will envelope the sky, and everywhere will just go dark. When you wake up in the morning, right, or let me say sometimes around the 2, 3, or 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and it will all look so dark, and you'll begin to see some little fluffy black stuff falling on you or settling on your fabric. They are dangerous and cancerous, by the way. But you see, Nigeria and the Niger Delta region that has been suffering from the environmental degradation for years, And most politicians have made a lot of money from that. Talking about resolving the environmental degradation caused by the oil spillage and what have you. Okay. Now, Sooth is considered or is believed to have been caused by illegal refineries in Niger Delta, which means the refineries are like cooking the crude oil in the open. So all the old thing that are going to be coming out of the cooking crude oil, they are there going up into the sky. They form the Sooth, the black thing that is now kind of threatening the lives of the people of Rivers State, a terrible non-working system. You will think, how could some criminals be able to do that? I mean, steal the oil, not just steal the oil. They steal the oil, they refine it, and they sell the oil. That's some, big stuff arrangements. You can't just do that for years. So they have thousands of camps all across Niger Delta. And this is how the people from that region believe they are having access to their own oil. But some of them don't even see the money, like per se, the big men that run the show. I'm talking about the generals, the police, this and that politician. You know what I mean? So Wike ran his own show on it. And guess what? He actually found out a base in there was controlled by the police. I mean, top guy in police controlling a fake illegal refinery in Rivers State. Yeah, and this happened.
We need to arrest all of them. That's what I'm saying. Okay. That's what it is. Go ahead, sir. Okay. Come, all the civil defense. Where's the commander? You are the commander. I'm the PSO to the governor of Rivers State. So what are you people doing here with this one? Yesterday, your guy was denying that you are not doing bunkering, you are not guarding any bunkering. What is happening here now? What is happening here now? This is terrible. My God. This is my God. This is the headquarters. This is the headquarters. This is what you people be doing. Yes. And your guy said yesterday when they meet, he said that you are not doing bunkering, you are not guarding anywhere. It's terrible. No, video him. Let him. Yes. Because he's the one. Yes. He's the one. He was the one who met here now. Later they started carrying gun. What? That is. I'm telling you. They started carrying gun. He was on Mufti when we got here. He was on Mufti.
Their boss. The man that came was wearing a...
Come, ASP. What is your rank? That's ASP. I'm minister. One. Disarm him. Now. Collect his rifle for me. So this is what you have been doing. And the government is kind of... No. Every day. I will not take it. I will not take it. As the community people, trucks line up here. Where are they? They should call all of them. Proof. All of them. All the civil defense should come.
Are you seeing what police are doing? Police are fighting themselves. Police are fighting themselves. Are you seeing the conspiracy? What? Why? See the conspiracy. See the conspiracy. Can you just? Are you seeing the conspiracy? Are you seeing the conspiracy? Share this video. Can you see the conspiracy? No.
You see? So, I hope you can tell yourselves the kind of banana republic that you are in. And this whole thing, this whole script is being coordinated and directed by the criminals who are telling you to get ready for election. Now, look at this, right? Some people will ask, what should we do now? Many times I've said that the numbers that feels like a system that is rigged enough. And if you agree with me so far, yeah, a system that is rigged enough should not be, should not be allowed. I mean, especially for those who run the system that has been rigged for so long, I gave you the same result, should not be allowed to decide how is it going to be next time. Some of you don't even know how your election is going to be. Some of you have no clue. But guess what? Your criminal handlers, they know what is going to happen. I might actually have an idea of what is going to happen. You possibly have an idea of what is going to happen, but majority of you will rather pray that what you think will happen should not happen, even when you don't take any action. A lot of things are going to happen this year to push you to act. But I believe that not everybody would act. Yeah? Referendum constitutional change is still going to be the way forward. Listen. People want different things. And there are, rightly so, they have every right to ask for all they want. But they're not going to get anything they want, especially with this crop of gang of handlers. I'm talking about all of you who have scattered yourselves into APC, PDP. Look around you, right? They will work it out that your options are going to be limited to the same terrible options that you have always been, kind of left with. Then you would have, as they say, you choose between the devil and the deep blue sea. They will have no agenda, no plan, none of those things that will actually address your concern. None. They'll promise you electricity, they'll promise you jobs, and some of you are going to fight your brothers and sisters, repeating that. They're going to give us job. I trust this. Look at this and that. You make things up. But one thing I want you to know is this. That same moment you are choosing to go for either of them, or positioning yourself to fall into the whatever arrangement you're going to end up with. And then you have no other choice. I'm telling you that you have other choice. Like me, a free mind that says, if enough people rise up and say, enough, we're not going to proceed with all this nonsense anymore. There should be, start with practically, there should be a referendum for a new constitution. I know some of you still feel like, Maiyegun, forget that thing. Forget constitution, that this and that. I know. It's just that I'm also waiting stylishly for some of you who have this better alternative, like, Maiyegun, forget it. Everything will blow up. Now, when everything blow up, we will declare Yoruba nation, we'll declare Biafra. Even if I am not going to publicly say, do that. Yeah? Or stylishly, I'm still waiting for you to do it because I don't know how you're going to do it. But practically, when that fraudulent constitution called 1999 constitution is still there, oh boy, we'll go kill ourselves, tire. We will never understand ourselves. You will never work it out. Just as I'm saying right now, yeah? It will never work out. Something will trigger it. You are going to see the practicability of it. And on and on and on, you will realize that a referendum before your election is in fact better, which means it gives you the opportunity to decide how is that election going to be. For now, many of you don't know because you have no clue. You are just waiting on them. Ashiwaju, once they give you Ashiwaju backhand, give them a fast and the rest of that, and his his demented mind get lost, and he started yapping things that doesn't even correlate to what's going on around him. What will be your next option? They will give, you know what I mean? You can give yourself options, save yourself the stress of having to say, I wish. Don't wish. Do it like myself. Yeah? Begin to promote that. You see, as this election is going on, I said what we would have actually loved to do is that if we have our own Yoruba nation agitators, for example, not even for example, mainly Yoruba Ilanomo Odua, if we have them so coordinated, for example, right, as this Tifnumbu and gang are telling the Yorubas, trying to swindle them, and trying to sweet talk and blackmail them into agreeing that a demented man is going to save their lives. Meanwhile, from the ghetto, the biggest ghetto in Africa, Lagos, right? The Ilanomo Odua will be telling the Yorubas, we will have our own, advocacy group within the communities, reminding the Yorubas it is a waste of time. You see, when Maiyegun now comes on to say, don't waste your time about it, you will just see so many Yorubas that will say, Maiyegun, don't worry yourself. We don't receive the message here too. I'm not saying that they are not doing it too. Okay? I'm just saying that this is the moment. As they are paying people to go and lie to people. Tifnumbu is going to pay the school fees of your children. Tifnumbu is going to do this and that. We, the real Omoko Yorubas, the real Omoluabi Yorubas, we will also be using the moment to tell the Yorubas that Yoruba nation is better. When they ask you to go and vote, tell them you are not interested. It won't just be on social media. And you see these Lagos Abobakus, they won't have the opportunity of coming back to tell you, go and bring your candidate. Which candidate are you going to bring against organized criminals? People who can kill if it requires them to kill you. If you are trying to stop them from gaining power. And eventually when they gain the power, they come back for you again. Even those of you who
we will work with you to build a Nigeria that is not corrupt. I bring you a message of hope.
We are going to spend a lot of resources on education.
One of the things I figured out when I was talking to the handlers of Nnamdi Oduah is that a lot is going on. Some of them you won't possibly feel them as you would want to. Some of them will look like they are too slow to fruition and the rest of that, but doesn't mean that things are not going on. But just like I suggested, right? If you want to fight them out, you have to do it with the people. How do you, when you say, don't do this, you give them alternatives, right? And from what I've been told, the biggest of the biggest blow that will hit the 2023 elections, right, is coming, and it is legal, right? And it is going to be a legal fight that is going to start from the root cause of why Yorubas are still part of Nigeria. And if Yorubas don't want to be part of that Nigeria, they need to go and alter that historical colonization arrangement. Yorubas are coming with a bang. Trust me, it will change the cause of this whole struggle. And like I said, some of you will be like, well, now it's coming. This is coming. It's coming. Maiyegun. We want to see action. Me too. Me too. I want to see action. But you know, say I'm just Maiyegun, right? I don't think I can even tell any of you, right? And tell any of you right now and say, hey, tomorrow we'll meet for Papa Wolf. I want all of you, 10,000 people gather. You know, you won't even listen to me. You're just like, my friend, you better change your supplier. Like I say this thing where you do smoke. Don't they get into your head? Talk another thing. So I'm talking about the people who actually do it. There are people, we have organizations, we should just encourage them, okay? Even if they look slower in, the way you want it to be, right? Until you carry out that your own action, that your own, we'll be say, you're going to live story. We'll go show that until you do that. You see the one we have, right? We should continue, to nurture it, encourage them. We've offered our hand in support a few times. They didn't really take them. But until when we get to that stage where they can always make it go hand in hand. You know what I mean? Hand in hand. When, when Tifnumbu's money is flying about, and you see all these people that they are going to come and abuse me. Those ones, now every 4 years, and they abuse me. Okay? And sometimes when I go back, after that, they will just disappear. Okay, they will disappear. Some of them will open new Facebook accounts, and wherever they see people doing, drop your account. I want to give 50 people 5,000 naira. They will, since they don't change their account, you will not see anything Tifnumbu on their pages anymore. You will not see anything there anymore. They will quickly drop accounts. My chairman, boss, Maiyegun, I've been following you for 30 years. Maiyegun, we know them. They abuse me every 4 years. They tell me what I'm going to see, what my life will see. For opposing their own oppressor. They do that to me every 4 years, okay? But the point is this. As this money is flying about, yeah? If we, the Yoruba Omoluabis, who will neither vote for PDP nor APC, who will neither vote for Tifnumbu or Atifku or anybody they want to push for you, right? We cannot do our own crusade. Talk to people and say, oh boy, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Of course you do. Of course you do. So I'm just somebody who wish that, and I can, like a volunteer, I can always volunteer to say I will be part of it. So I'm going to be bringing Ba Shegun. I don't know if he's watching, by the way. I'm going to be bringing Ba Shegun, the man who is the coordinator for Yoruba Nation, Nnamdi Oduah, in the UK, for Yorubas to meet and talk. I'm going to be there. Okay, maybe I'm just going to be one of those that will make a big difference too, right? And I know many of you will join. You will be there if you know that Maiyegun is going to be. Oh, Maiyegun is, well, since I'll be the one announcing it anyway, right? I'll announce it like everyone else. So let's meet in London. Let's meet in Manchester. I love saying that because I can envision it, because I can see the difference that will make the moment we begin to take this further offline and more physical, contacts that we can build on, networking that we can rely on, sharing and exchanging of information that can help individually and collectively. So these ideas are things I would like to, but again, I am not going to be a member of any of those organizations. That's why I said volunteer, observer, give me a name. I will support anything that will start the conversation and the conversation around the Yoruba nation and the Yoruba's affairs, Yoruba's involvement in Nigeria projects and every other positivity that can indeed redirect our path away from this ruin that Nigeria has become to us. I mean, I'll be part of that. I'll give my support. I will not be any member of any organization, just so you know. And I remember when I was speaking to Maiyegun, I said that I am not interested in anything about position, this and that. But yeah, I can contribute my own little quota to help this happen and give it the media platform that every Yoruba son and daughter will be so proud of and say, yeah, if you want to know what's going on, talk to them in the Yoruba nation in the UK, or go on to Maiyegun's Diary Politico. You'll see the best update there. I want to be that person because I would rather be that your meeting junction. I want to be that your junction, right? Where when the Biafrans are coming, they will say, Maiyegun, hi. As they are going. When the Hausas, as let's put it that way, right? The Kanuris, the TVs, the Jaws, the Shekiri, everyone who is part of that the nationalities of that country, Nigeria, forced together. When they are walking past, they'll say, Maiyegun, hi. So when I now say, hey, everybody can come together and say, well, we have our differences, of course. Yeah, we have our differences. But you know what? When it comes to Maiyegun, that's the only place where our differences have a life of their own and we can relate. And at the same time, yeah, we can see through why we need ourselves. I want to be that. And I'm not desperate to be that. So, and I'm also not desperate or interested in being leaders of anybody. Just let me be your teacher. Let me be that priest from the temple of truth. It's more convenient that way because people love it that way. So yes, I will be bringing Maiyegun to Maiyegun's Diary Politico this weekend. I will announce that I'll make arrangement with him and he will come here to tell us what's the plan? What should be the plan? How can you get involved? Because it's time. You know that? It's time. So when we tell people that these two guys are untouchable, let's give them alternatives. Let's widen that conversation. I'm interested. Are you? Thank you very much, everyone, for your time. I'm going to round up now, okay? In fact, that is me rounded up. I'm going to say thank you to every one of you who took your time to join me today. Jonochi, I don't know if I pronounced that, but Oforie, thank you for your super chat there. Thank you. Like my video, share it before you go, okay? If you haven't. To everyone, I was going to open the line earlier, but because of our time, we'll do that some other time, okay? The other time can be tomorrow. So until then, right, stay safe. Good night. And then have a sound dream, I'll say. I don't know if that's even correct. Well, have all the best and good night.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Bíjó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Tí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í.
aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun mami. àní ẹ̀sùn ràjò. Maiyegun ti dé. òpùrọ̀ olóṣèlú. Maiyegun mami. àní ẹ̀sùn ràjò. Maiyegun ti dé. ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Maiyegun ti dé. àní ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. bọ́tà lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà. àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì o. ẹ̀yin bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. Maiyegun ti dé. gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràgì. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.